One of the biggest risks when you are an entrepreneur or solopreneur is being unfocused, trying to do too many things. It's exciting to explore new opportunities, new business ideas, new products, new services, but it can be a waste of time and money. So I want to talk in this episode about ways you can perform a bit of a sanity check on potential opportunities to make sure you're focusing on the right things for your business. I'm Larry Cornett, and this is Invincible Solopreneurs. So this is issue number 83. If you go to newsletter.invinciblesolopreneurs.com, this is titled Sanity Check Potential Opportunities. Basically, it's about modeling the upside and potential risks when you're exploring new opportunities, save you a little bit of time and money. Now, I always get excited about brainstorming new business ideas, and it could be an idea for an entirely new business. Sometimes I'm thinking about stuff like that. Other times it's a new product or it's a new service, whatever it might be. And in the past, I've erred on the side of executing quickly, trying to move really fast, trying to get an idea out into the world so I could test it. But after many, many years of wasting time and money, I've learned to exercise a bit of caution and to perform, at least a quick sanity check first. After all, success is as much about saying no to the wrong things as it is about saying yes to the right opportunities. As solopreneurs, especially lifestyle business owners, we don't have infinite time and money. So we have to place our bets more carefully. We're not raising tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars from investors. It's usually coming right out of our own pocket or our business income. In my Solopreneur workshop earlier this year, I shared a simple scoring system for narrowing down a choice between multiple business ideas. So there is an image in the newsletter if you go to newsletter.invinciblesolopreneurs.com. And it's a simple table. I had something like 6 factors and then a column for idea 1, idea 2, idea 3, and giving it a score from 1 to 5. So 5 would be this idea is the best for this factor. 1 would be the worst. It's around your capabilities to create the business, the resources and finances that you have, being excited about it, having a high potential for profit, scalability, things like that. Being able to execute the idea, pretty quickly and easily, and is the market ready for it? Now, of course, it is not as simple as what I could fit in one table on one slide in that presentation. So I want to provide a more complete list of factors that you can explore when you are evaluating a new idea for your business. And this kind of hit me this week. I've been talking with somebody about partnering on a new business idea. And one of the first things that we were discussing was, let's model this out. What do we think would be the interest in this? How many people do we think would sign up for this? How many would purchase this? What do you think we could charge for it? And what does that look like? What does that look like in terms of total revenue? That would have to be split between the two of us and then cover the expenses of providing this. And do we still want to do it, right? Because you could model something out and say, hey, I'm excited about this and it's a great idea. But when you run the numbers, you're like, wow, this is not really worth doing. I could spend all my time working on this and it's not going to help me make a living, right? So that's why it's kind of important to do this. So I'm going to run through, I think there are 20 of these basically. The first factor is What is your unique twist on this business concept? So, has this been done before? And most things have, right? But what do you bring into it that's new, that's different, that's better? Why is your product going to be better than the competition? Is it good enough that it's worth doing, right? Why is your service unique compared to the competition? That's why it's kind of good to do a little bit of homework. I've had people come up with ideas and then did a little bit of homework and they said, oh, somebody's already offering this. And it's pretty much the same idea that I had. So back to the drawing board. I don't want to launch something and everybody's like, this already exists. Why would I buy what you're offering? So what is your unique twist? The second is the market timing and the market demand. Is the market ready for this? And I can tell you, I launched a startup many years ago. It was kind of a voice-based social media network. The market wasn't ready for it. This was long before Clubhouse came out and things like that. People just were not ready for another social media network, and especially a voice-based one. So the timing was bad. If I had launched that startup years later, maybe it would have been right. Is there demand for it? What's the market demand? And this is when you get into the question of, am I really solving a problem? Am I curing someone's pain? Am I meeting a need? Is it real? Is there a real need for this? And that's why it's important to talk with potential customers to find out what they're struggling with and whether what you are thinking about doing would be a solution they would pay for that would help solve their problem. And the third is kind of related to the first, but it's like, why you? Why are you the right person to bring this to market? Why can you do this better than anyone else? This is probably more important as a solopreneur than any other type of business because you are the business. You're it. And often solopreneurs are providing services, and so it's you providing some type of service, whether it's design services or it's coaching or whatever it might be. But why are you the right person for this? And then the next is, do you have the capabilities for this? Do you have the talent? Do you have the knowledge that's required for this type of business or this product? Do you have the skills to deliver this service? Do you have experience with it? Do you have a reputation for it? Have you built up a professional reputation in the industry? People know you and they know that you do this. My first business that I launched was a design agency, and I had been working at Apple Computer. I'd worked at a startup as the only designer, the only employee designer. So yeah, I had the talent, I had the knowledge, I had design skills, I had a reputation of being a designer at Apple. So I did have the capabilities. I had the capabilities to immediately launch this design business. On the other hand, I have talked with people who wanted to launch a restaurant, wanted to open a restaurant. And they had absolutely zero experience in the space. They weren't a chef. They'd never worked in a restaurant, never even been wait staff. No knowledge of that industry whatsoever, no reputation for it. And they wanted to open a restaurant. So that's probably not a great idea if you don't have those capabilities, unless you're just going to be the person that owns the restaurant and you hire everyone, right? I suppose you could do that, but your chance of success if you know nothing about running a restaurant and nothing about that business, it's pretty low. Do you have the resources? This is another factor to consider. Do you have what is necessary to start this business or to offer this product or service? Do you know how to manufacture it? If you're going to be doing software design, do you have a laptop? Do you have the applications that you need to do the design work? Simple stuff like that, but it gets more complicated depending on the business, right? If you're going to open a business doing auto repair, do you have all the tools you need? Sometimes people don't. So think about that. Do you have what is necessary for this? Do you have the retail space? Do you have the connections in the industry? Whatever. Next factor is the speed of execution. So how quickly could you spin this business up? How quickly could you get this product ready and start manufacturing and selling it? How quickly could you start offering a service and be ready, willing, and able to do it? If you have an idea for a business or a product or a service and it's going to be many months or years before you're ready, is that really something you want to do? If you're going to have to spend 2 years doing the research and design and development and testing and manufacturing before you can go to market with it, maybe a big company can do that has deep pockets, has hundreds of millions of dollars, but as a solopreneur, it's not really something you should be doing. So this should be something that you can pretty quickly execute, get it up and running and making money from it. What are the startup costs of doing this? What is it going to take to spin it up and get going? Do you have to get space? Do you need retail space? Do you need office space? Do you have to buy some equipment? What are you going to have to do to get up and running? And what are the ongoing expenses going to be? Are you going to be paying monthly rent? Are you going to be leasing equipment? Are you going to be paying for various services? I do. I pay for a lot of services to run my business. I have hosting for my websites. I have things like Cloudflare set up. I have, storage services. I have podcast recording services, you name it. I pay for a lot of stuff monthly to be able to run my business. So think about all those costs too. The materials, if you're going to be doing advertising and marketing. If you are going to have to hire some experts, do you need to hire a lawyer to draft some of your contracts? Do you need to work with an accountant? Whatever it might be, think about those startup costs and the ongoing expenses. And then think about your finances. Do you have the financial cushion to be able to get this up and running and wait for it to be profitable? Many businesses are not profitable right away. Some take several months, some take a few years. That happens. That's why I highly recommend businesses that are not like that. Like I had explained with my previous businesses, like the little tiny design agency I ran, it was profitable, in the first few weeks. I already had everything I needed and I had a client. So I was already able to charge and make the money I needed to kind of cover my expenses. Or are you going to need investors for what you're doing? Or are you going to have to take out a loan for what you plan on doing? So think about the financial side of it. And then we get into the market. So what is the market for this? What's the size of the addressable market? So what are the, who are the customers that you are going to be able to reach and market to and sell to? Because there can be a massive market, but can you reach everyone? Unless you're going to spend millions of dollars on advertising, you're not going to reach the same kind of market that a software company can, for example. Is your market going to be local? Maybe what you're doing is providing a local service. And so your market is pretty small. If you're only going to be a solopreneur providing house painting services, you're not going to go nationwide with that. Or you could be doing something that does expand. You could have something that's global. When I offer my coaching services, I work with people all over the world because all I do is I connect with people over Zoom and email and messaging. It doesn't matter that they are in France and I'm in the US, we can work together. So yeah, if your market's going to be global and online, then it's a bigger market, bigger potential. And think about the potential customers. So as you were thinking about this business concept and the problem it's solving, so it's solving a problem for somebody, right? Who are these potential customers? Think about those people and be very honest with yourself Are these people you want to interact with frequently? Do you want to talk to these people every day? Do you want to sell to these people every week? Are these people you want to help? It is a big part of running a business, especially as a solopreneur business owner. Sometimes people think of a solution and a business they want to run, and then the customers they'll be dealing with, they're like, oh, I don't like these people. I've seen that happen with somebody that opened a B&B. So they opened a bed and breakfast. And they thought, this will be fun. I love bed and breakfast. I love the experience. It's so cozy. It's so fun. It's so enjoyable. And they were thinking of it as a customer. But when they started running a bed and breakfast, they said, wow, these people are really high maintenance. They complain a lot. They want high touch services. They're always asking for this and asking for that. And so they realize, they're like, wow, these are not people I'm enjoying interacting with. This isn't how I want to spend my day. Kind of important. The next one kind of goes back into that addressable market, but what is your ability to reach your customers, your ideal customers? So once you've identified who these customers are, where are you going to find them? Is this something where you're like, yeah, it's really easy. I know exactly who I'm going to reach. I know who they are on LinkedIn. I'm going to start connecting with people. Or are you scratching your head saying, I don't know where to find these people? I want to do some kind of service for people that do fly fishing. I don't even know where to reach them, especially in the numbers I'll need to be making enough sales to be profitable. So you should be thinking about, who are these customers and can I reach them? Can I market to them? Can I sell to them? The next factor is kind of a gut check one. It's like your excitement about this. How do you feel when you think about building this business, if it's a new business, or creating this product, or providing this service, making this offer to a customer? Do you feel motivated about it? Do you feel excited about it? Do you feel energized about doing it? Sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. And so if you think about it and you're honest with yourself, you either say, yes, this sounds like a great thing to do, or wow, I hadn't really thought about the drudgery of doing this every day. Maybe I'm not that excited about it. Somewhat related, what is your motivation to drive your business in this direction? So this may be a way you're expanding your business, a new service you're providing, a new product you're going to add, and you're thinking about, making this part of your business, and how motivated do you feel about going in this direction? Is this the future you see for yourself? Is this the business experience you want to have? Somebody recently was saying, be careful what you wish for, right? They were watching some people coming up with a business offer and starting to sell it, market it, and then it was working. They were selling it, and then they said, wow, I don't really enjoy doing this. I don't know why I took my business in this direction. Let's say you're an accountant. You do small business accounting, and you decide, hey, I'm going to add tax preparation as a service. And you're like, that's going to be a moneymaker. There's a big burst of activity right during tax season. This is probably going to be a nice way to extend my business, make some more money. But then you realize you hate dealing with the tax code. You hate the pressure that happens with all the last minute filing and people panicking. And you realize you've made a horrible mistake. And you're like, I don't want to be doing this. It happens. Hey, so think long and hard about it. That's why I encourage the morning journaling I talk about, and sitting and visualizing and brainstorming and talking to people that do this kind of work. Do you want to do it? And somewhat related to that is another factor, is the compatibility of this with your desired life experience. So a lot of what I talk about with building a lifestyle business is creating a business that lets you spend your days the way you want. Are you somebody who wants to get up late in the morning? Do you want to have a leisurely lunch and then work in the afternoon? Or maybe you want to work late into the evening? Maybe you want to work 3 days a week, not 5. You don't like the idea of working 7 days a week, which some businesses are, right? So think about this. Is this business, is this new product that you're going to offer or service compatible with what you have visualized for your ideal life? Do you want to keep doing what it takes to create and sell this service or product? Think long and hard about that. And then you're getting into the details. So now this is kind of the opportunities. Like, what do you think you could make from doing this? What could you charge for the good you're going to sell if it's a product? What could you charge for the service? Are you going to be fixed price? You're going to do hourly, project based? You're going to have a retainer? You're going to do stuff like that. Think about the pricing. Think about what is reasonable in the market, reasonable for the value you're providing compared to competitors, you name it. What's going on in the economy, it makes a difference. And then the next factor, what's the potential sales volume? So how many units do you think you can sell realistically? Often when we first start building businesses, we get excited. We're like, I'm going to sell 1 million of these a year. I'm going to be making $10 million. It's like, no, you're not. Maybe somebody out there did that, but most people are not going to see that kind of sales volume. So think about the realistic demand, especially if there's competition, especially if you have low reach. It's going to be hard to market to people and sell to people. Think about the fulfillment bottlenecks. One of those big ones is your one-on-one time. So if you are going to be a coach, for example, or a consultant or a contractor, like a designer who's offering services that way, you're the bottleneck. You can only work so many hours in a day and so many days a week. So what does that look like? How much could you be selling? How many customers could you handle? I talk about this a lot with people that I coach. And I say, when I'm looking at my ability to provide one-on-one coaching for people, I usually can't juggle more than 10 clients at a time. 10 is a lot. 10 is a lot. That's a lot of people that I'm communicating with every day. I'm setting up calls with, trying to squeeze people into my week. It gets beyond 10 and it's kind of crazy. It's really hard to do, which is why I started to do things that were a little bit different, offering the group coaching and the courses and things like that, because my time is the bottleneck. I can only sell so much. So, and that could be with a product too. If you are manufacturing a product and fulfilling the shipment and all that kind of stuff, whether you're doing it yourself or you're having someone else do it, you're doing like drop shipping, that kind of thing, how much can you actually manage? What's your throughput? And so this will start to tell you, based on the price that you just figured out and the sales volume, what does the revenue look like from this? And then scalability. So how does it scale? Can you grow the sales? Can you automate parts of this? And as I was just mentioning, like one-on-one stuff that I was doing, or if I'm working directly with clients, like when I was a design consultant, it could only scale so much. I could only work 8 to 12 hours a day. I did not want to be working 24 hours a day. And so if you want it to scale, you have to do things that are a little bit different. Things like providing group services or a digital product that you can almost sell infinitely, right? That's why people love doing books and they love doing online courses and things like that, because it scales really well. Think about the demands on your time. So whatever it's going to take to support this new product or service or this type of business that you're looking at, the volume that you're looking at doing, how much of your time is required to manage it, whether it's the marketing and the sales or fulfillment. Think about that volume and say, can I support this? As a solopreneur, can I support this? Now, you could hire contractors. You could find people to do part of it. There could be ways to scale it, but there's still going to be some kind of demand on your time to manage that. And so think about the demands on your time. And then look at this profitability. So if you're looking at that projected revenue, so the volume, the pricing, how much you think you can handle, and then what that looks like in terms of like a monthly revenue number, and then look at your expected expenses. So it could be the cost of the goods that you're using to manufacture the product. It could be the services you're using, stuff like I was mentioning. It could be equipment. It could be physical retail space, you name it. But what are your expenses? Your operational expenses, ongoing expenses. And so then you can get your profitability number. So now you're saying, okay, if I did do this and I was making this much money and I was spending this much on expenses, here's how much I'll be clearing. And that tells you, is this a sustainable business? Is this going to provide for you? Is it going to cover your lifestyle? And then the final one is, what are the risks? Everything comes with risks. There could be potential burnout. So you could say, yeah, I can do this. I can work 12-hour days, 7 days a week, but you're going to probably burn out. I know, like I said, I kind of burn out if I get beyond 10 one-on-one clients. Are there legal risks? So are you creating a product that has some legal issues, and you're going to have all kinds of stuff in place to protect you? People that open physical businesses and restaurants, yeah, there's a lot of stuff they have to do, a lot of inspections, a lot of insurance. It's kind of the name of the game. Are there risks to your reputation? That happens. Sometimes people get really excited about making money a certain way, but then they're like, yeah, but if everybody found out I was doing that, it would kind of harm my reputation. So it's a tough decision. It's like, oh, it could make a lot of money, but could damage my reputation. Do I want to do this? So that kind of wraps up the 20 factors. Again, if you go to newsletter.invinciblesolopreneurs.com, this is Sanity Check Potential Opportunities. It's issue number 83. And you can kind of go through these and think about it. And I'm always happy to talk with people about stuff. I offer a free coaching call, kind of an initial call where you could have a confidential chat with me about your business ideas. So it could be the idea for a new business or a new product or a service, something that you're doing for an existing business. You can go to newsletter.invinciblesolopreneurs.com and you can click the schedule a free coaching call button and set up some time to talk with me. I'd be happy to help you out. Until next time, I wish you the best of luck with building the business of your dreams.